Hey guys, hold on, let me see. For those of you online, we're going to get started in just a few minutes. Let me know if you can't see my screen or hear me, and I'm going to put that in the chat too, just in case you can't hear me.
I can hear you, and I can see the sign-in screen.
Oh, good. Thank you, Gerard. So you can see like command here.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Gerard. We're going to get started in just a minute. I'm going to go grab a coffee. Feel free to do the same. Right, we're going to go ahead and get started. So today's class is all about farming, so using KW's tools to farm a neighborhood. And we're going to first start with one of my favorite tools in Command, which is sending postcards to a neighborhood. And then we're going to touch on some social media things that we can be sending out for to come off as a neighborhood expert and brand us as a neighborhood expert. So first and foremost, I'm Jules, so okay, sounds great. Thanks, sounds good. I'm the Market Center Tech Trainer here at KWB, and anything I go over today, if you would like a one-on-one appointment with us to go over anything with the KW Tech or marketing, coming to the kwbresources.com site and clicking I Need Tech Help in the top right corner will bring you right to our Calendly so that you can book a time that works best for you. We will be in Command today, which is at agent.kw.com. And here we can sign in with our KW credentials. As I mentioned, we're going to start with postcards in Command, how to create that, and then go send that out. And this is all done right from Command. So Command partners with a company called Real Mailers to do this. And so that you can, for example, circle a area you want to send that to, and Real Mailers or Command does all the postage and send out for you. So it's a really cool tool in Command. And to create the postcards, so that's what we're going to start with. And how these sections typically work together in general, we're going to create that in the design section and then go send that out in the campaign section. So create and design, send out in campaigns. And I'm going to click on designs to bring us there. When we click on designs, your screen's going to look different than mine. This is just any designs you've worked on previously. But we can click on create design in the top right corner to access our print templates. And actually hold off on clicking print real fast. I know I'm about to jump. And if you've already clicked print, no worries. Just open a new tab real fast and pull up Command one more time. Because there's some extra instructions and I just want to show you where that's pulling from. So I'm going to jump into campaigns, which is that megaphone icon on the left-hand toolbar. And these are the steps that we're going to use to actually create our direct mail campaign. And that is by clicking create campaign in the top right and clicking direct mail, since this is a direct mail campaign. And if I lose anyone at any point, for those of you online or those of you in class, just let me know. I can slow down, go back. No worries, especially since I just jumped there. Now, when we do that, it's going to prompt for a campaign name and a goal. Nobody sees this name or goal except you, so it's purely for your organization purposes. So let's go ahead and give it just a placeholder here. Hey, Joanne. And brand awareness, just for this example right now, so I can show you where I'm about to pull these instructions. And click Create Campaign. So I know I'm going a little bit backwards because typically, like I said, we create that campaign in designs and send it out in campaigns. But to show you what criteria we need to hit, I can click this content dropdown, and it's going to give me a couple options. So from this section here, we are able to create a postcard with quote unquote default templates. So with that template, we are given just a few options here. And one of the key things to note is there's sizing differences on the right-hand side. So if you're wanting to, for example, for this example, let's do a 6x9 default template so I can show you. When we click on that template change, it actually changes the right-hand side, as each of these templates has a different design. They're very plain, I will say, because these are the default template options. I'm going to be showing you how we can create more robust postcards, but for this example, let's just click on default so I can show you how we could create a postcard this way. So we can click that template type, and then it's a matter of filling in the information below. And as we fill out each text box, we're going to be able to see on the right-hand side how that displays. So let's say we are going to do a just listed postcard for this example. And just a reminder, if you don't have a listing yourself, you're able to market other people's listings in hopes to get more leads from them. So even if you don't have a listing, you can still be sending out postcards or farming a neighborhood to get leads this way. So I put just listed as the title, and on the right-hand side, I can see when I write that in, that displays on the right-hand side on this preview. And I can continue to fill this out. Now, something to note for the description is that it does have a character limit here, but this might be a good spot to put the actual listing information in there. So, however you'd like to do this, if you have the MLS sheet already pulled up, you can copy and paste that description in there. Or so I can have that information pulled up. I can also search for this listing on my website or on your website. So in a new tab, so you can click that plus icon to open up a new tab. Go ahead and pull up your website. And that's typically your first and last name, .kw.com. If you're really unsure of what your URL is, you can also find that in the consumer section, which I would just recommend opening in a new tab by right-clicking and clicking open in a new tab so that we can keep this page up. But go ahead and pull up your URL for your website. That's where we're trying to go here. And just start typing in the listing address that you're wanting to send the postcard out about. I don't know if this one's an active listing, so I may just have to find a more active listing here. Let me just search Waxhaw, and I'm just going to pull up a new listing for this example. I'll do this one. So once you search for that listing, like if it looks like this on the page where it's searching properties, we're going to want to actually click on that listing to open up the listing page. So this page is very valuable. It has all the pictures, has all the information, property description, everything right from your website. So when people go to this link, they're taken to your website. So while I'm here, I'm going to actually change that address since I'm not doing that same listing anymore. So I copied that, pasted that in. Then I'm going to use this property description. So I'm going to copy this, copy, paste that in for the description. And wow, look at that. I barely beat the character count. But just a heads up for that, like if this is a longer description, words may be cut off here. So we just want to read over and make sure, that character limit didn't cut us off. Then I'm going to jump back to that page with the listing information. To get the picture for our postcard, I can right click here and save this on my computer. Then I can X out, go back to our campaign in a different tab, and I'm able to browse my computer for that image. Again, if I'm going too fast, just let me know. But as I'm adding all this information, I'm able to see that preview on the right-hand side again. So right, that title, the property address, I can flip over from the front to see the back where that description is going to be. I can see everything pulls in nicely. And it's great going through this way just because compliance-wise, it covers you completely. So it has the notice that you need on it and everything. So at this point, I can just click Save. Oh, it looks like I might need some, you might need to put some dashes in there if it gave you that error message. But now I should be able to click Save. And now this always pops up for me. Anytime I use an image, that I pull in an image or even use a very high quality image, I personally always get this message. So I'm going to click on Use Image, and I'm going to show you where to check to make sure that's a high resolution image. So I always get this, click Use Image, and that's going to give us a check. And I'll show you where the last official preview is. So this note right here is letting us know it's not an official preview, but I'll show you where we can look at that to make sure it's not blurry. So at this point, we can just move right on down. So we've just got a check mark next to this content section. So now we're going to drop down to the Market Center section by clicking on it. Now this, we just have to fill in with the Market Center address and click Verify Address. And it will always pop up with this to make sure that we put in the exact address that Real Mailers has. So we just click Confirm Address here. And then for the targeting. So for this targeting, we have two options. We can do local targeting. So this is going to be by an address. Or we can also target your database. So any contacts that you have an address for in your command database, you can actually send a postcard right to their door. And we can click Add Contacts here. And it's going to pull up. So you'll see that some of them have these like error messages. And that's because I don't have an address for them. But the ones I do have address for, I can select them to send to the ones I do want to add to. I could even filter by tags. So as I'm setting up my contacts, mailer might be a really good tag to have in my contact database. So this is something I do want to touch on for targeting your database. So command wants you to put contacts in as two separate contacts, like for spouses, for example, like John Smith and Jane Smith. And command wants you to put that in that way for DocuSign purposes so that they can each have an email so they can electronically sign. However, why this is a little annoying for postcards is because if you have two contacts with that same address and you select them both to receive a postcard, they'll receive two postcards for a spouse. That being said, as a strategic recommendation, if you utilize the tag like mailer, for example, and only tag one of the spouses, like as you're adding in your spouses or your contacts, and you see contacts have the same address, tag one of them as mailer. So that way, if you do ever want to send them a postcard, they will not get duplicated postcards. Does that make sense? And I know that's a pain in the butt, but it is like one of those things that one platform wants it this way, the other one wants it this way, and you can't make both of them happy, unfortunately. So you can search by that tag. So I have a mailer tag created so that I can tag spouses separately and make sure that I have a full list ready for mailing lists. If you are wanting to like kind of just send it to all contacts that have an address, you can select all up here. However, you'll see that only selected 9 contacts, and I have more than 9 contacts, and I can load more here. So before clicking select all, we actually want to scroll down and click load more, and keep doing that until you see all your contacts. At this point, once you don't see load more anymore, you can scroll up and do select all, and that will actually select all your contacts with addresses. So at this point, we can then add them to the campaign. It's going to add those right here so we can see that's what it's targeting. Now for this example, I'm going to use local targeting so that I can target around an address since we're doing a just listed postcard. So I'm just going to grab the actual address of the listing for my targeting. Here. And then click save. Now for the budgeting, and this usually defaults to 200, it's just because I picked the database one. We can actually change this on the next page, but just a heads up, for 4x6 postcards, you know how when we saw those different template options, there are different sizes. So for 4x6s, you'll only get the option for first class. 6x9 and 6x11, the two other options, you'll get the option for standard as well. And that's just how fast the postcard gets there. So standard mails out 7 to 14 business days, while first class does 4 to 6 business days. So, you know, based off your postcard's goal, if that's more like farming, more evergreen, you know, standard would be great. Maybe for a just listed one, because it's more time sensitive, you might want to spend a little more and do first class. But of course, totally up to you and your budget. For quantity, let's just leave that alone for now. I'll show you where we can update this on the next page. So let's just click save. Next, we're going to click configure targeting in the top right corner and click yes to go ahead and create this campaign. And this is where things get fun. Fun. So by default, so here's up at top is the address, and that's what the center point is. By default, it's doing a radius, so the closest 200 homes. And we are able to then filter a little more at that point if we would want to. Now, typically we don't update these too often, like the filters, but we have had instances where, for example, they're just trying to target like needing to downsize, so they target ones with more bedrooms, for example, and things like that. But like I said previously, we can change all the budgeting of section part in this area. So let's say we actually wanted to target, we wanted to increase this target, and we wanted to target 300 homes around this listing. So we can either like drag this bar or just double click and type the amount we want to target and click enter. And that's going to increase those blue dots and actually grab all those addresses for you. So that's doing a radius. Now let's say we really like it kind of got a little out there because we're doing a radius and we really want to make sure we get only a certain area. There is a draw tool. So we could click on draw and draw around that area. I personally don't like how it's kind of hard to draw. You have to do it like in one click to get a perfect, and it's kind of hard to get perfect on that. So I like the polygon tool the best. And that will allow you to create a shape by clicking, and it's going to, when you click again, allow you to like change directions so that we can get really specific with this targeting. You just need to close the shape. And when I do that, it pulls all the addresses for me. It changes this number to how many homes I drew around. So, you know, based off that, I can, okay, if that's too many, I can kind of use these dots and bring that in a little bit. And when I do that, that number is going to change. So I can do that until I like the number. So if I want to target, like, let's say like 500 homes about, I can do that. If you notice in a neighborhood, let's say there's like a neighbor you really don't like, or or there's like renters or another real estate agent in the neighborhood you know of, you don't have to send them to all of them. So when you hover over a dot, it's going to give you some details about it, but it will also give you the option to remove that. And when we do that, it says up here, like we now are only targeting 503 homes because I just removed it. So you can remove these dots from your targeting. If I scroll down a little bit, I have an option to send a copy to the company address. I always like to do this. That way you know what they receive and when they received it. So I can check that. And at this point, I just click on next. Now, this is the final preview just to be sure that's not blurry and that nothing is cut off. That's a big one as well. So if we click on view a larger preview here, we're going to be able to see this. How do I see it? Oh, yeah. And I always like to just like zoom in a little bit and just make sure that that doesn't look blurry. I have the property description on the back with my information pulling right from my marketing profile. So all looks good here. And I can, oh, and I'll also be able to see like with the postage in there too. So I can make sure nothing's getting cut off here with the postage. So if that looks good, that's great. It gives me an order summary on the left-hand side. And at this point, I just put in my email and my card information and boom, that is done. So really your bulk work is creating that postcard and targeting, and then Real Mailers does the rest. They do the postage, they do the send out. You just target that neighborhood. Any questions so far? Feel like that's pretty simple. Yep, good. So we'll do another example with a more like farming, like evergreen kind of example. But if you don't have a listing, you can also use another Valentine listings. So I believe compliance wise, there's like a form that needs to get signed. Yeah. Just to make sure that like if the status changes that you don't market it as like this listed kind of deal. But that way, if there's like a pretty listing in the neighborhood you want to farm that Valentine has, you can still market that, you know, to get some leads from it. But just, yes, you need the listing agent's permission first. All right, I'm going to click on back to move us back. And before I go to designs, that's where we're going to jump next. Before I do that though, I'm going to click on create campaign. Time here. Indirect mail. This time I'll name it farming test brand awareness. Just to show you again the instructions, that was where I was going the first time. So under content, we use the default templates, like that option. We have also the ability though to upload a custom template. So if you like Canva, for example, I really like Canva, and I utilize that for our postcards, you can create custom designs and pull them in here. But before you do that, I would just recommend coming in here, like coming to campaigns, create campaign, and click on upload template, because this will go through the exact criteria that you need in order to be able to upload into command. So things I do first, if you do want to use Canva, for example, I always do the sizing first. So I do in Canva create design in the top right, and I do it as a custom size. And I put in exactly what they're wanting. So with the bleed marks there, let me show you online too. So like if you're trying to create a 6x9 postcard, we'd all actually want to create that as a 6.25 inch by 9.25 inch for the bleed marks. And then we'll also want to be sure to download that in either a JPEG format or PDF. And we also have to download the front and back separately. So there are just like a few kind of requirements, and this section will walk you right through that. So in case you need to reference this when you're creating. So now that we know kind of the rules, we're going to go into designs to create this. Now, the good thing about doing it in commands designs versus like Canva is that they have templates already in the sizing that command wants. So to find our postcard templates, we can go up to create design in the top right. And we're going to do this as print since it's a postcard. Click next. When we do that, we're given a ton of different postcard options. And so there's a couple ways we can do this. So if we wanted to search by specifically postcards, we could search for like postcards up here. And that's going to give us some postcard options. It also gives like some random options. So I kind of like to do it by category. So based off what your goal is for the postcard. So let's say we just want to like lead generate and become a market expert. Wait, that's not, I think it's, hold on, I'm trying to find it specific. Oh, I thought it was under. Okay, now I kind of lied. Now I feel like we should just search for postcard because I need a certain like size of this. Let's do that first. Okay, when we hover over a design, it's not super clear, I know, but you see how it says like, here, let me see if I can, like it gives the name and then it says PC 4x6. So that PC is postcard and then 4x6 is the sizing for that. So, you know, based off like what you're looking to send, sizing wise, that's what I would look most closely about, because all the content we can change in the next screen, but the sizing we will not be able to. So if you want a 4x6, let's do this one, for example. Ooh, it's 6x9. I like 6x9 personally. So strategically, 4x6s tend to just get thrown away very quickly. Like when people collect their mail, they're able to kind of put it in their spam mail and throw it right away. 6x11s are very large. They definitely don't, they get seen because they are huge, but of course they're a bit more pricey. So we like the 6x9s because it's that nice middle ground where they can't easily kind of, they'll see it and hopefully not throw it away. So I'm going to use a 6x9 postcard, and to use it, I can click on use. So open it up. So I'm going to kind of update this to what my goal is, and that is to target a certain neighborhood. Now, of course, you could utilize this as is. I don't know why it's freaking out on the right-hand side. Okay, yeah. It's because the I don't know why this is happening, but the text boxes are scrunching up. So if you click on a text box, you can expand that out so that it doesn't happen. Oops, sorry. But we can also change what this says as well. So, I mean, you could kind of keep this as is and just update the back. but I wanted to show you a really cool tool in Commands Designs. So in here, we have the option to go to the KWLS section, which is a cool feature with designs like versus Canva. You're able to bring in listing information right into Commands Designs. Now, other than listings, we can also bring in snapshots, which means like market information about a specific neighborhood. So I'm under KWLS, and if I click over to snapshots, I can search by a neighborhood name I'm looking to farm, for example. So let's do like Hunter Oaks. Once we find our neighborhood name, we can click on ours in North Carolina, and that's going to produce this graphic for us. So if instead of this picture, which this is good too, but maybe we want to provide a bit more value, we can click on this picture first. That way, this replace icon appears. Actually, no, because it doesn't replace it well. So I'm instead going to actually just add it with the plus sign and resize it manually. I want to delete this box too. Why is this not? Is it blurry or is it just? Let me try and re-add it. Oh, there we go. Maybe it just needed to load. There we go. And then maybe I expand this out a little bit. I can make this, you know, how I'd like here. And I can update this to say, live in Hunter Oaks. That's and then we can even add a QR code, which is what I like to do on postcards because it does really bring to life a postcard and make it, you know, a bit more live as well. So for the QR code, we just need a URL where we want that to target. And I always recommend your website because we always want to drive traffic to your website. So what I would recommend for a neighborhood postcard is actually searching for that neighborhood. And I sometimes struggle with this. I think sometimes you might have to use like the MLS like together with this because we need an address from the neighborhood we're trying to target. So like if you don't know it off the top of your head, you kind of have to like either look one up in the MLS or hopefully I can find one in this neighborhood. Okay, good. So yeah, I was looking for Hunter Oaks. So you might just have to like, in order to find the neighborhood page for a listing, you just need a listing in the neighborhood. So let's do this one. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna click on neighborhood here. And then click on go to neighborhood. And let me know if I can go through those steps again. So I searched the listing first. I went to the neighborhood page. Then I clicked on neighborhood at the top. And then I clicked on go to neighborhood. And that opened up this page breaking down the neighborhood. And it's a live link, meaning anytime they go to this page, it will update with what's currently going on, which is a great page in itself. It gives them a market snapshot. They can see properties for sale, nearby schools, calculate their commute time to work, the whole shebang. So we can make a QR code from this URL. And to do so, there's two options that we could do here. One, we could copy this URL, throw it into an email and send it to support@scottleroymarketing.com, and they create a QR code for you within 10 minutes for free. So if you don't want to do it, that's totally fine. We have leverage for that for free with Scott Leroy. If you do want to know how to create a QR code, it's really simple. All you need is this URL here, so we can just copy that. Then in a new tab, we're just going to Google QR code generator. When you Google that, sponsored ones are going to come up top. I don't like sponsored ones, so I scroll down. I personally always use this one. They are all like the exact same, really. But I know for a fact that I just know this one well, so it's the-qrcode-generator.com. And all it prompts for here is that URL that we want it to point to. So we can paste that in. And as soon as we paste that in, this QR code changes and we can click download. Give it a name so we know what it is. And PNG is perfect, so all we do here is click download again, and that's going to save it onto our computer. At this point, we can go back into our postcard design, and we can upload this image into the image section. So we can do image, my assets, and then this like little red button, plus button to add image. And now it will allow us to like find that QR code we downloaded. And add that in. Now, if they scan that, they'll be taken to your website with all the neighborhood stats, and they can see that right at the front of the postcard as well. For the back of the postcard, to access the back, we're going to click on pages in the bottom right. It says 2 pages. And we did page 1, so we can click to page 2. And there are some things that we need to update here. So this is a complete placeholder. It's like Latin. Maybe here we put a testimonial that we've gotten. Or, you know, if you want to say something, if you don't have a testimonial, you can put anything here, your bio, for example. I'm going to do the example of a testimonial. So I'm just going to pull a Google review in. So let me pick a shorter one. Here, Gerard, I have one from you. So I can copy that back to this. Now, double clicking in the text box will allow you to change what's in there as a keyboard shortcut if we're feeling crazy. You can click Control A to select all, and then Control V to paste. If you're a Mac, it's Command. Then when you post or when you enter in a text box, so double clicking will allow you to change what's in there. Clicking on it once will allow you to change like the format of it. So you can change like the font, boldness, things like that. You can change the size of that text box as well. So again, double clicking will allow you to change what's in there. And single clicking or clicking out of that if you're already in there will allow you to change that. With your headshot, I always recommend clicking on that photo first. One that should bring you right to the images section. And if you click over to my assets, that's pulling right from your marketing profile. So as long as you have your headshot in command, you can easily add that in. So we can click that replace icon, put me in there. There is a placeholder for your logo. If you do have a logo, you can put that in. Then we have the Market Center logo. Again, I always recommend clicking on that logo first because one, it will take us right to that menu section. Then we can click over to my assets and replace that. So we can replace that right in. And then just a few more things to change here, and I'll kind of just move us along. But let me know if you have any questions, but it's a matter of just filling this out. For your app URL, and I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive. So under your text section here, and again, my assets, I believe it always has your app URL ready to go here, which is amazing because I know it's not a simple URL. And this, it pulls in other things from your marketing profile as well, like your phone number and things. So that if I wanted to replace this, for example, I could click on that placeholder and then use that replace icon again, and that will replace that for me. And I can expand that out. And I might want to move that because I'm scared that's going to get in the way of that postage. So I'm going to move that down. Okay, so we did the creating part. And we feel good about our postcard now, let's say. Now we just need to download this to pull it right into the campaign section. Now we do need to download it as separate files because we're going to download, so we're downloading the front separately from the back. So to do this, we're going to click that download icon in the top right. And we're going to change the PDF standard. I'm going to change that to PDF for printing, which makes sense. And then instead of all pages, I'm going to deselect that and then click page 1 and download. I'm going to just say this is the front. And then same steps, we're going to go download, PDF for printing, perfect. And then deselect all pages and do page 2 and download. Back. Perfect. So now that we got those downloaded, we can click done to move us back into command. So again, now that we created that in the design section, we're going to go send that out in the campaign section. And just a heads up, when you come to this campaign section, we come to this overarching dashboard, we can also click over to direct mail to kind of see anything that you've previously worked on. If you've drafted a campaign, you could come in here, click the 3 dots and edit that. You could even duplicate a campaign. So as you're targeting an area and you want to keep targeting that same area, we can duplicate campaigns that make our lives easier. But for this example, let's go ahead and click create campaign in the top right in direct mail. Oops. Give it a name and a goal just for your organization purposes. Click create campaign. Now, very similar steps. We can click that content drop down, except now we're going to click over to upload custom content. And here, this is why we had to download them separately. It's because we're going to download the front, or we're going to import the front in there. And then import the back in there separately. And click save. Market Center, we always have to resave this section. Just put those 2 things in and click verify, click confirm. Targeting, again, you do need to know like an address in that neighborhood if you're looking to target around a specific address. So you might need to like kind of use the MLS like with this. Or you could do like I did on your website and kind of just search around that area as well. And then again, budgeting, we can actually update on this next page. So let's go ahead and just click configure targeting in the top right to move us right along. So again, by default, it targets the close or the surrounding 200 homes around that address we put in. So we can either update that number to increase that, or if we're looking for a specific area, well, once it loads, I'm going to use that polygon tool so I can just draw around where I want it to hit. but I already showed that, so I'm not going to wait for it to load. But at this point, all we have to do is click next, and it's going to bring us to that final preview page where we put in our email and our credit card information. I was really hoping actually that I could get to the next page because I did want to show you one more thing. Bring this one up to show you. This one. On the last page, oh, where is it? I'm gonna do that again. Hey. Okay, it might be just giving me a hard time. But on the last page, there's gonna be an extra link to schedule for later. So there is an extra option. So if you wanted to sit down one day and schedule out 6 months worth of postcards, 3 months worth, every other month. Farming a lot of time is about consistency. So doing one, like we see agents that will do one postcard and be like, well, I never got a lead from it, so I'm not going to do that again. Well, unfortunately, with farming, you do have to be consistent about it. And they give a stat of typically it takes 6 months to receive results for farming. So as long as you don't get discouraged, which can be discouraging, of course, if you keep spending money and you're not getting anything back, but it really is all about consistency. So even if you utilize Command to schedule out postcards for every other month for 6 months, and then in between there, you could go door knocking so that they are seeing your face, that you're not just like a face on a postcard, you're a real person. That could be a great supplement with each other for farming. Any questions on that? I know we covered quite a bit. In note 2, 1, if you ever want this leverage, this is something we do. So we create postcards, farming postcards to be sent out and do this order process for you. Or you can also book a one-on-one appointment with us whenever you want to, and we can sit down and do this together. So you're not alone in this. We can go through those steps again and get this done together. But it is a really cool tool to be able to like circle around a neighborhood and send postcards right to. Yeah, this class is recorded, so you can reference this. And we even have like a shorter tip video that's like specifically for this. On our YouTube page, so on yeah, on our YouTube page is a good spot for it, but also on the KWB resources site, that's a great place to just more centralized on-demand training. And then, oh yeah. And then I think it's this. Yeah, this will bring you to the YouTube channel. So that has all our recorded classes on there from like this. Yeah, of course. And then just a heads up though, to make things like extra confusing, we also have a YouTube channel. Yeah, sorry. And we have a specific video on this on how to use Canva for a postcard specifically. So that one would be great if you're using Canva, which I do like Canva a lot for, they just have really pretty designs. But Command's designs are cool because it integrates with the MLS and like you can pull in those snapshots, for example. So, kind of maybe depending on your goal and your branding, just some options. Any other questions? Okay. Well, the last thing I show this quite a lot, so you might have already seen it, Joanne. But another thing that I really like in Command in regards to the neighborhoods are these neighborhood videos. So where I am in Command is the campaign section. And this always stays here. So it's right under quick posts. And this neighborhood video, if you got in the habit of, like, let's say I want to farm Hunter Oaks, and every week, maybe every other week, I come in here and create a new neighborhood video to keep people up to date on the neighborhood stats in a really fun and engaging way. So if I click share here, I just have to type in the neighborhood name, click on it, and then click next. All this information fills in for you. It's pulling from the Nextdoor app. So, but you can update it if need be. Then your branding information, this pulls from your marketing profile. Nothing to change here really. Market center information, same thing. So we can just click next here. Then in a matter of 10 seconds, it creates this really cute 1-minute video, and it's only 1 minute, so we can watch it. I really like it. It's very valuable and very cute. Can you believe that? I cannot. That's this market. And all branded to you with your information at the end. So you're the expert in the neighborhood. So we had to do was put in a name and boom, that gets created for us and we look like an expert. So now we can click on save and post. And now given that you're connected to your social platforms here, this will work for you. And we can put in the contact information. Interested on what's going on in Hunter Oaks. Here's a breakdown from your neighborhood expert. And then we can even put an emoji in there if we're feeling crazy with that little smiley face icon. Put like a house. And then this video is already here. It's on the right-hand side. We click the play to view it again if we'd like. Then all we have to do is schedule that out or publish immediately. I will say with these neighborhood videos, they are less schedulable because they are pulling numbers based off when you created it. But more so this would be a good one to publish maybe immediately or for a specific time that day. But yeah, coming in here, once a week, once every other week to be posting this neighborhood video with the new stats. This would be posted onto business pages. So it's only talking to business pages so that you can post on there. And then at that point, you can share onto your personal page. Like it's just gonna like post on your Facebook account. Yes, to your Facebook page. Yes, you're right. So yeah, so this is such an easy way to brand yourself as an expert. And kind of next level, but if you ever see a group that your neighborhood has, Facebook groups are a very unsaturated, great niche way to get in as a neighborhood expert. So like if you're, neighborhood, I see them like, Homes of Hunter Oaks or Hunter Oaks as a Facebook group, or even like a Facebook group about like moms and Hunter Oaks, anything like that. If you can get access to it, and even if you got access and then posted this once a month in there, just to show up, one, for credibility as the expert, but two, you're providing value with a video. So just more in an advanced tip, but it's an unsaturated like channel, these groups, in a great way to brand yourself as an expert that way. Well, that it. Yeah, that would be, it's not that you would just post it to your business first and then go share to your group or from your business page to that group. But yeah, there's not like a direct way to post from the group from command. But you can download these videos too. So if you wanted to, I don't know, post this somewhere else and you wanted like this downloadable file, I just found this out actually under designs. That's going to now be in designs here for us. And we can click those 3 dots and use download so that we can like have the actual MP4 file. Yeah. So yeah. Absolutely. That was, we talked a lot about postcards. Of course, again, you can always book with us. We can break this down again, and do it together too. So if you ever want to, feel free to book with us and let us know if you have any questions too. Yeah. Just like, yep, just locked in there. Thanks so much for coming. Thanks. And for those of you online, let me know if you have any questions. Sorry, I actually haven't been checking the chat, so I will look at that now. Oh, good, good. I didn't miss anyone. Let us know. Email us if you have any questions on that. And thanks for coming to class, guys. Have a good one.